going to talk about the course next Saturday, or this Saturday, sorry, which is entitled Work, Money, and Relationships. And usually what trainers do, or people who have problems or challenges in work or money or relationships, which is 99% of the population, what we do as trainers is we ask people to jot down their limiting beliefs. For example, on money, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it actually does grow on trees. Or it's too difficult to make money. Or only the dense make a lot of money, or people who are crooked, and etc., etc. There's so many limiting beliefs about money and work and relationships as well. So I'm going to ask you to think a little bit, really fast, and jot down some limiting beliefs that come to mind about relationships and money and work. Just jot it down. You can chat with me. Thank you, Lama. Yeah, I was just reading your chat. So just chat with me, write down some limiting beliefs, and let's go into that. Now, the areas of work, money, and relationships is very much involved in this shift, in this consciousness shift. We're going from the ego-based, which is struggle, which is competition, which is, tough energies or dense energies. We're going from that ego-based consciousness to the heart-based consciousness. Relationships are not lasting nowadays. Money is hard to earn through right way. Okay, that's what Anam is saying. Okay, that's a limiting belief. You know it's a limiting belief, right? Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I was saying that we're going from this ego-based consciousness to this heart-based consciousness. The planet is smack dab in the middle of this right now. The energies of power and ego are clearly seen and felt in these three areas. Now, ego or will is located in the solar plexus, the third chakra. So we're going, so to speak, from the third chakra to the heart chakra. So it's not that we don't need the solar plexus or the will. Of course we do. We need ego. We need a balanced ego. But we're just allowing the heart to take the wheel, so to speak. Okay? Now, we're going from the solar plexus to the heart chakra, but of course, we need all of the chakras to be in balance, okay? So it's the connection between the two that provide you with abundance when it comes to money, okay? So there are a lot of limiting beliefs about money and work and relationships, and we'll get to that more in depth in the course on Saturday. But for now, I've learned this a long time ago from the Jeshua channelings, from Pamela Cribb and all her channelings. And I tried it out a long, long time ago, and it works. One thing to remember, the flow of ease. Okay, now, no fear, no pressure, no competition, no struggle. You're going with the flow. And you receive gentle, intuitive whispers from your heart or your intuition or your full potential self or higher self, whatever you want to call it, your divine self. And resulting from that flow of ease that we call, or that energy that is an easy flowing energy, we receive unexpected opportunities and possibilities. Now, maybe it doesn't make sense to a lot of you because we've been used to compete. Well, I'd rather go, let's say, to creativity instead of competition. And nobody was in that energy more than myself when I was a lot younger. It was all about competition, who sells more, who comes out with the smartest remarks, who gets the girl, who makes the most money, because that's the way we were taught. That's the way I grew up. But then I noticed that it didn't suit me anymore. And I chilled by working a lot on myself, through breath work, shamanic work, all sorts of plant medicine work. And then things started flowing and coming to me easily. The opportunities came to me easily. People I attracted before who were mostly aggressive started dwindling down. I started attracting people who were more loving, more conscious, because we are the cause of B-cause. Because your inner world creates your outer world. It's just that simple. Now, some people are saying this is hogwash, this is new age, I don't know what. No, it's not. It's real. Money is, if you want, M-O-N-E-Y, stands for own natural. So it's cause and effect. But let's remember what I used to call it. My own natural energy yield. There we go. So money, my, M, my, O, own, and natural, my own natural energy yield. It's just energy. Money is just energy. You know, it's innocent, so to speak. So let's go from the flow of ease to the flow of abundance, or the flow of enough. A lot of people think there's not enough money, there's not enough love out there. Well, there is if you tap into it. You know, definitely the energy of the heart is the source of abundance. And I'm not talking financially. I'm talking about everything else. Abundance, feeling everything around you is nurturing you. That type of abundance. Now, light workers, which I think you are, in my opinion, tend to have some limiting beliefs because they associate money with what? With power. They associate money with power. And of course, from our the past lives, there are blockages there. And these blockages stem from the past lives where, you know, austerity and the abstinence used to rule the world, or the material world, you know. So that abstinence or that austerity spent in solitude most of the times is what, you know, blocked us spiritual people, or people who are doing this type of work, or people who consider themselves conscious. You know, this is one of the biggest blockages, that money is power. And power is something, you know, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, that's a blockage that most light workers have. So again, money is innocent. Money is pure potentiality. Okay, it's just like a knife. You can use a knife for good or for bad. Money is the same. It's all about balance. Always has been about balance. All the masters have taught us this. You need to be sustained, though, in this world on all levels to express your highest potential. Okay, in this lifetime. All right. So go ahead and send me some more limiting beliefs about money and relationships and work. But just so you know, we're meant to enjoy life as human beings. Of course, remember with all that is, with God. That's our purpose, to manifest our divinity in this duality. Okay? But in a loving and joyful way. So if you're with me on this, yeah, okay, so Daniel is saying money changes and often corrupts people. Yeah, well, it depends on who you're talking about. Money makes you more of who you are. So if you're ignorant, you're probably going to do some damage. But if you're very conscious and you believe that money can help people, you know, receive more education or whatever it is, then you would use money as a tool, which it is, just like a knife. We need knives, you know, to cut things and maybe to eat. Okay. And you can use knives for what we call evil. You know, again, embrace duality. Okay, so let me read some of these here. Relationships are not lasting nowadays. Money is hard to earn. Okay, we talked about money changes, often corrupts. If root chakra is blocked, won't that affect all other chakras? Okay, become more of what you are. I always wondered about it. Yeah. So, yeah, you can have blockages, or you can have one chakra that is not activated as much as the other. But as soon as you remember who you are and you're vibrating in a higher frequency, then it all opens up. Okay, most people who become instantly wealthy turn into entitled jerks. Well, not all of them. I'll promise you this: is if I Win the lotto nowadays, this day, I won't be a jerk. As a matter of fact, how do you know that somebody loves their work? This is what I used to ask people in my conferences. I would ask them, what if you made now a lot of money? What would you do? See, people would say this and that. What I would do is the same thing I'm doing right now because I'm passionate about my work. So it's all about passion. Yeah, find work. Learn to love your work. If you don't love your work, do something that you can find something in your work that you love, or find another job. You know? Most people who become instantly wealthy, okay, oops, what was that? I know. Okay. So again, if we dig deep, we'll find some blockages there. All right. So enough in this, when I say that flow of enough, of abundance, everything I need, in other words. Okay. Now, how do we do that? Well, basically more trust and less fear. What's the biggest obstacle in our lives? What's the obstacle to love? What's the obstacle to material wealth? What's the obstacle to whatever? It's usually fear, right? I usually ask in my conferences, can you do something today or tomorrow that will make your life worse? Yeah, us holding ourselves back, and I'm saying, of course, that's about fear. So let me continue this, and that's the whole point. Can you do something today or tomorrow to make your lives miserable? Yes. Can you do something today and tomorrow to make your lives better? Yes. Whose responsibility is it? Ours, of course. So why do so few people take so little action? Fear, 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 and fear. False evidence appearing real most of the time. FEAR, false evidence appearing real. That's our biggest obstacle, because we do not know as a whole who we are. That's the whole point. Who are you? Are you a man or a woman, married with children, making ends meet, and that's it? Are you a body? Are you your thoughts? No, you're a lot more than that. Okay? Once you realize this in your heart, not in your head, but in your heart, your energy changes, you start attracting abundance at all levels. So there, in the course, we're going to talk about, these things. We're going to talk about wealth abundance principles. You have principles. Your income can grow only to the extent you grow. We're going to talk about the tree of negativity. In other words, stop blaming, stop criticizing, stop judging, stop taking things personally. That just makes you negative. The environment is negative. You need to feed your soul and mind something positive, and put them high up in your list of priorities to effectively attract them into your life. Well, you don't really have to focus that much about it, Lama. What it is the flow of ease. So it's not like you're really focused and charging. No, it's mostly about the energy. You see, if the energy is flowing, you're at ease, you have that energy of abundance, that energy of ease, and you have those beliefs to back you up, you're going with the flow, but you know what you want, then it's not that difficult. You see, most people get what they want when they let go of what they want. When I want something, it's based on fear. That means I don't have it. I want control. That means I don't have control. I want money. It's because I have that feeling of lack and of fear of not having enough money. That's the root right there. That's what we're going to change. Okay, so it can be changed in many ways. I just did a meditation half an hour ago that will help with that. But there are many ways of doing this. So please continue asking or sending me some limiting beliefs, and let me know what you think about money and work. Again, it's your vibration. Yeah, your soul has a calling. If you don't like your work, change it. Get something else. Maybe not now is probably not the perfect time, or learn to love your work. Again, your energy is what counts. If you bathe in a positive energy, you're going to attract positive things, opportunities, and people. If you're bathing in anger or fear, like most people are right now in the world, and I hope we can do something to help people out, then guess what they're going to attract? If you're bathing in fear, you're going to attract negativity. You're going to attract, even viruses love to live in fear, and that energy. You're going to attract negativity. Okay, so when you know in your guts you're feeling fearful and you know it is not real, how do you shift your focus in that immediate moment? Okay, that immediate moment is live in the present moment. You see, your mind, your egoic mind is what's making you fearful because you're thinking too much. You're thinking about the past, the future, you have a fear, or you're talking about, you're giving yourself a story about yourself or someone. Just be present, be in the here and now, and you'll see how that fear just melts away. I don't know, not many people seem to be able to do that. It's just a matter of practice. It's just like any muscle you're building. You know, just practice being present, capital P. It's just that simple. Some people just observe the fear. You're not the fear. You are the awareness that is aware of the fear. That's who you really are. So don't identify with the fear. Shamans make fun of us all the time, us in the West here or the Middle East. You say, oh, what's wrong with you people? You guys are sick. Just let it go. And we go, let it go? How do you do that? Letting go is like trying to taste your own tongue. And there's a story, by the way. This guy's walking along a cliff and he falls all of a sudden and he's hanging by, by a thread on this branch and he's scared, he's dangling, he's going to fall into the, I don't know what, into the openness. And then he says, hey, is there anybody up there? Please help me. Can you help me? And then all of a sudden he hears the voice of God that says, just let go, you'll be okay. So he says, well, is there anybody else up there that can help me? You know, it's like, you know, God's telling you to let go, trust. The point being, we need to let go of a lot of baggage. Fear, anger, guilt, stress, sadness, loneliness, boredom, frustration, depression, attachments, the need for attention, the need for control, the need to be secure, the need for oneness, the need to be special, the need to play that role of the victim or, you know, or the villain. Some people have that role there. They believe that they have that role to be the villain. Well, I don't know what their soul's purpose is. It could be that because they have a lesson to learn. I'm just giving you a shortcut, so to speak. Remember who you are. Yeah, that comes sometimes easily, sometimes not. Let's talk about relationships. Please, some of you, give me some relationship limiting beliefs. A lot of people will say love doesn't last, or, you know, they get bored with each other. Shoot me something here. Somebody send me a limiting belief about relationships so we can talk. We just have 12 more minutes. So I'm just giving you a preview of the course on Saturday. I'm going to go into depth. I'm going to ask you to work. But if you do apply yourselves, you will change. You will start to attract abundance. So, limiting beliefs about relationships. Love does not last. Well, all right. How about falling in love? Is that normal? Falling in love, falling out of love? What is that about? Is that unconscious or conscious? Think about it. So, when you know in your gut, I find it hard to believe in other people's feelings. I don't know what you meant by that, Anand. I find it hard to believe in other people's feelings. What do you mean by that? So, relationships are the source of our deepest emotions. Now, this is something that I always say. People have taken courses with me. We are in relationships primarily to trigger each other and to transcend those triggers, okay, learn from them or awaken from them. So, okay, let me read this real fast. I know it's generated from my past experience, but it's hard for me to trust new people in my life. Well, trust comes with time. Don't trust immediately. I'm asking you to trust God. The process of life is what I'm asking you to trust. I'm not asking you to trust some person you just met. Of course not. Just trust your intuition. Connect with your higher self. That's what I'm talking about. How about gambling addictions, oblivious of kids' responsibilities? Yeah, what about that? That's an addiction. Addictions can be healed. People have addictions because they're looking for what? The connection with God, the spiritual connection. The spiritual always leads everything else, guys. I'm not a religious person. I don't come from a spiritual family. I learned this on my own through going to hell and back. Almost died, I don't know how many times, had a lot of pain. That's how I learned about this stuff. And then the theories came easily after that. So yeah, addictions, attachments, you know, people are hooked on things. And it's a substitute for the connection, the spiritual connection. All addictions are a substitute to the spiritual connection, but they don't know how to do it. So Daniel's saying as relationship progresses, people tend to stop making the effort they did in the beginning, particularly after marriage. Sounds like you've been married, leading the relationship to become stale. Well, what is marriage about? See, people think they go in to get love or whatever. No, I just said we go into relationships. Why? To trigger each other. That's the whole point, and to transcend it. Okay? So we're going to talk about in relationships, we're going to talk about soul, twin souls. We're going to talk about this. Most real love is more often than not codependency. Yes, I agree with you on that one, Daniel. Most real love is more often codependency. Why? Because we're looking for the other person to heal ourselves. No, we're independent. Gibran Khalil Gibran, the famous poet, Lebanese poet, by the way, used to say, love each other like the columns of Balba. In other words, separate, but together. That's why, for example, my wife and I, she lives in her apartment, I live in mine. Small apartments. Because when I got married the second time, I said, no way. You're going to live in a house and I'm going to live in a house, and let's pray to God this works. Because I've been there and I know how difficult relationships are. And guess what? It worked out, probably because I matured. But it worked out, you know why? Because we're independent and we care about each other. So walk in parallel paths. What do you mean, Lama? Walk in parallel paths. What do you mean by that? So yeah, so in our love relationships, for example, the original safety and unity is what we're looking for. So I'm going to tell you something maybe you haven't heard of, or maybe you do. The original birthing pain as a soul, that's the real problem. You know, we're one with God, and then we separate, we become, you know, the individuals that we are. I talk about this in my other courses, so I don't know if you've been in my other courses, but the point is, we're one, all one pure creative consciousness. And then we decide to have experiences, and like droplets of water from the ocean, we separate, and that separation is painful. And then we have the veil of forgetfulness or ignorance. And then that birthing pain as a soul is what is traumatizing. And then we go into relationships looking to what? Unconsciously reconnect with that original pure love, that safety, that security. We try to get it from a woman, or we try to get it from a man. It never works out that way. It's not the point. We're supposed to heal ourselves, not go into a relationship to heal. Never worked that way. It doesn't work that way. How do you turn things around in relationships after they've gone awry? Well, that's a good question. How bad is it? Then sometimes you don't want to be in a relationship that turns bad. The whole point is for you to learn. We have karmic relationships. We're going to talk about that in the course. We have karma. I know my karma with my ex-wife. I know my karma with my wife now. That's how I settled this, because I looked into my past lives and I found out what the lesson was. I went to the place of planning, which I teach in shamanism, and I found out what I had planned for my soul's purpose in this lifetime. Yes, it's possible. I want to give you something new. I don't want to give you something that you know already. People are going to tell you it's about communication. It's about, I don't know what. Well, it's about accepting each other the way they are. Yeah, but if you get slapped every Tuesday at 6 o'clock and you get kicked in the face every Friday, you want to stay married to a guy like that? I doubt it. You know, karmic relationships. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about healing relationships. We're going to talk about emotional dependence, which is power and control. We're going to talk about twin souls. How do you know if the relationship is a karmic soulmate relation versus twin flame ones? Okay, good point. Well, I don't know who you are, but do you have guides? Do you connect with your guides? If you don't, then, you know, I can show you how to do that with all modesty, and you can connect with your guides and your higher self. And you can ask these questions, and with a little bit of practice, you'll do it. Okay, my friends, I would advise you or to take the course, the shamanic course, shamanism, level 1, and then you'll learn from that. It's very easy to connect. It's not that difficult, especially now the vibrations on planet Earth are a lot higher than they used to be. We've been bombarded with rays that are helping us to awaken. That's why we had this artificially made pandemic happen, because some people don't want us to wake up. Wakey, wakey, now's the time. Now's the perfect time, as a matter of fact. How much is the workshop on Saturday? How much in money? I have no clue. Just talk to June and Illuminations, and they'll let you know. And what am I planning to teach? Exactly what I'm talking about right now. And I'm planning to teach about work, money, and relationships, how to get abundance. How do you know that you're in a karmic relationship or a healing relationship? How to become independent, like Khalil Gibran taught us in his poems. Independent yet loving. See, don't go into relationship to take something. You go into relationship to grow together. All right, but they never taught us that in high school, did they? Soulmates, by reminding yourself you are separate souls adding to each other rather than expecting to take from one. Yes, thank you, Lemon. I agree with you. So that's what we're going to talk about, folks. So look into Illuminations on the course for Saturday, money, work, and relationships. And I think you'll get something beneficial out of it. One last question, please, Anam, shoot. I shouldn't say shoot in Lebanon, it's dangerous, but shoot a question. Do you offer relationship counseling? Yes, of course. I've been doing that for a long time. Now that I finally found harmony in my relationship, I guess I can give you some, a little bit of pointers on that one. Yeah. All right, that we feel in the beginning of our relationship. Yeah, in the beginning, it's all nice. You know, we have this mask we want to impress, and then, you know, we start changing a little bit. The real shadow self comes out. It's about embracing the shadow self. Okay. You will receive a certificate of completion after the course. Oh, that's okay. Somebody from Illumination, probably June or Hadid. Yeah. Okay, so it's AED 350. Okay, I didn't even know that. So, alrighty, guys. Any more questions before I sign off? Was about my question. What was that, Anam? Say that again. That we feel in the beginning of our relationship. What's the question? Because I couldn't read it. What was about my question? Excitement versus real connection. Well, excitement, you can find different types of excitement. Real love is actually harmonious, peaceful, understanding. It takes maturity for that. Yeah, excitement, you know, everybody goes into relationships at first, it's so exciting, especially when you're young. And then we learn that, wow, it's a lot more difficult than I thought. Well, welcome to the real world here. Ideal is no deal. Remember that one. Thank you, Jean-Marc, for this introduction. Thank you, Lama. Remember, ideal is no deal. Be conscious. Learn to connect and see what your soul's purpose is, what experiences you've signed up for. Then everything will be a lot smoother. Now's the time. God bless, guys. Hope to see you on Saturday. Take care now. Thank you, Munira. Take care. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Taiba. Daniel, thank you.